Hello, everyone. I would like to just create a quick video updating on things that's going on, updates maybe about, what's going on with the shader development, why there hasn't been many videos to set to the actual channel in a while. That's because I've been hard at work working on the Blender shader and a full rebuild of the Unity shader, which actually you can see a preview of it right now. Explaining why it's been kind of slow, I had to make a full rebuild of the Unity shader completely from scratch. It uses a completely new system for the lighting. Many more settings, as you can kind of see going on here in the Unity one. The Blender one is very similar, has many settings. It's The old versions of the shaders were technically very similar between Xrd and Fighters and Grand Blue, but through much more research and talking with many more people in my Discord, which actually I'll put a link to below if you didn't know about it, and also on Twitter, which I'll also put a link to if you didn't know about it. Talking with a bunch of people, I've learned about a bunch more stuff and reference images and learning about how more things work. So that's what I've just been working on for the past while. The My current plans right now is I'm just going to be finishing up the Xrd and Fighter shaders for Unity right now. The Blender ones are actually already done. Um, but I mean they're basically done. I haven't actually. I got to push some updates really quick, but it's basically done. Then I'm going to finish the Xrd and Fighters ones in Unity. Grand Blue isn't really a high priority. Not many people actually use the Grand Blue ones, and those that do, the existing Grand Blue shader is decent enough that it's not like a high priority right now. But I'm gonna finish up these shaders with their new UIs and all that. I'm gonna create a video explaining the usage and the settings of the shaders. um that's just it's just gonna be a quick general overview of what the settings do. This isn't gonna be explaining in depth how the shader works. It's just gonna be explaining what is shadow push, as you can see here. It's like what are the settings and how do they work. There's gonna be just a quick breakdown on that. In This is just stuff that I'm playing just right now that are like top priority things I'm working on. In the future, I am going to be recreating the Grand Blue shader for Unity as well, and then also for Blender. That one needs to happen. It should be fast enough. But most of the stuff is kind of applicable to the other shaders, but working that will be in a future plan, and maybe talking like month, 2 months, maybe. I'm also going to be working on a video where I explain in depth how the shader works. How, say, for example, the different ILM channels work, or the different vertex channels. Like, what do they do? How do they work against each other? As you can see here, I kind of have explanations on what's going on there, but it's going to be a much more in-depth video explaining how they work. In regards to Strive, I am going to make a shader for Strive. It will actually be, if I don't finish the Grand Blue one before Strive comes out, I am actually going to make that one first. But when Strive comes out, I assume most of you probably know it and realize I am a fighting game fan. I am going to probably take about a month, maybe two, to just play the game. I will be working on it like in my spare time when I'm not, actively playing the game. I will be working on the Strive shader, but looking at the screenshots from in game and different media and whatnot, it looks like the Strive is very similar to what Xrd is. The only difference being that Strive has a if you look here at the rim light, Strive has a blended rim light instead of a hard shadow rim light. But it should be probably accurate for the time being until the proper one is actually made. I assume most people know how to rip the models. I don't need to actually explain because it's exactly the same basically for Fighters and Grand Blue. You just use model and export it. I don't have the AES key for it, obviously, but we get to that when we get to it. And if you guys didn't know, I actually, like I said, I haven't made a video in a while. If I post most of my updates actually to my Twitter and my Discord channel, which I've helped all the time with how this shader works in there, and what you can do to fix stuff, general modeling stuff, using making custom models, all kinds of stuff, anything related to Arc System Works style of stuff. We talk about that, help people out inside of there. There's a ton of people that are in there. There's like 200 people and just a bunch of people making models. A bunch of people make their own shaders. A bunch of people do their own stuff, and it's just a big collection of people that all work that. I use my Twitter to post updates on the status of my shader. Just if you want, you can. If you want like real time updates, I don't retweet memes and shit like that. I use it just for sending out art that I make, like renders or updates on the shader progress like that. So feel free to follow me if you want to, or just check in every once in a while. I hope that kind of this is a good update for everyone, keeping everyone up to date. What's going on? Stay tuned for some stuff later.